Yo, so Ruan Mei is getting a rerun in part 1 of patch 2.3, and that is right around the corner. So, is it worth pulling Ruan Mei in 2024 or skipping for something down the line? I want to first start off by saying, are you blind? Have you seen this character? I mean, Jesus Christ, look at how cute she is. That little bit of cake that was on her face the first time we ever met her, and then she touched our face just gently, ever so gently, caressed us a little bit. Jesus Christ, I mean, dude, obviously you pull for this character. I mean, look at them, waifu ever met every Hey, sorry, I almost lost my cool back there. But jokes aside, Ruan Mei is quite literally the best character in the entire game. Hear me out here. Support characters are the best characters in Honkai's Star Rail. Specifically, Harmony characters are the best amongst the support characters in the game. And you have Sparkle, Robin, and Ruan Mei at the top, but Robin and Sparkle are slightly more niche than Ruan Mei is, and she's universally great across all teams, including characters like Blade, who is an HP scaling character, so he wants something more like a damage buff, an overall damage buff like Ruan Mei provides, and she provides that buff to your entire team. She's very skill point efficient, and you can build her in a very slow way or a very fast way, and both ways are very, very powerful and very, very great for anybody's account if you can manage to build them properly. And it's not hard to build the slow version. The fast version is slightly harder, but it's not like it's hard to create. It's just harder to get those drops some of the time. And with Ruan Mei being able to buff your entire team across the board, she was the first character to introduce like an actually optimal dual DPS meta. Now you have characters like Robin who can also allow that as well, but again, Robin has that spread across all teams that makes her universally great. Now you can sit there and argue whether Ruan Mei is the best character in Honkai Star Rail or not. I personally believe that she is, but something you can't really argue against in a justified manner is that Ruan Mei is probably the most impactful character you could ever add to your roster, at least as it stands right now. I mean, when you're building teams in Memory of Chaos 12, and you are, making those teams, no matter who you have on your team, Ruan Mei is always somebody you consider if you do have her on your account because she's universally good across all teams. Even if you're throwing together some jank team that is not necessarily the most optimal, but it is optimal in that domain that you're going into because of the domain buffs you get from that particular Memory of Chaos, if you're curious or wondering about what team you can run, you can pretty much always slot Ruan Mei into there and have some form of an impact because she is universally good across all teams. And those buffs are nuts. She's skill point efficient. No matter how you build her, she is incredibly powerful. And something crazy about Ruan Mei is that she's quite literally the best sustainability character at top level play, even though she's not a tank or a healer. Now again, I need to reiterate that, at top level play. So if your account is not strong enough, you won't be able to utilize this tech. But basically what Ruan Mei can do is she can extend the weakness break of your enemies. So when they are weakness broken, when their turn comes around, Ruan Mei says na 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 na, and then she extends that break another turn. So this is incredibly powerful because if the enemies are weakness broken, they can't hurt you. And because she's buffing the ever-loving daylights out of your entire team, where a healer or a tank would have not buffed you as much as she can, you are dealing massive amounts of damage compared to what you would have been doing before. She's literally the best sustainability character at top level play. Again, you won't be able to utilize that tech if your account is not strong enough, but that doesn't mean you should ignore the fact that it exists. Now, something I wanted to go over really quickly about Ruan Mei that's very, very important, but it's not actually about Ruan Mei. It's about her light cone, which will be available during her rerun banner. And it might be the best 5-star light cone or Harmony characters in the entire game. Obviously, you have things like Dance, 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 but that's a 4-star light cone, right? It's not a 5-star. That's, it's all about the grammar, right? It's all about the words and things. Anyways, let's read what this does. It increases the wearer's break effect by 60%. Yeah, that's nice and everything, but not every character is going to be able to utilize that to its fullest, right? This is the best part right here. When the wearer uses their ultimate, it increases all allies' damage by 24%, lasting for 3 turns. I'm going to say that again. A 24% damage bonus lasting for 3 turns to all allies. That's incredibly powerful because most Harmony characters are built to be very quick. And that means that they can basically keep a permanent uptime depending on how they're built with this particular ult. That is incredibly powerful, especially because a lot of Harmony characters don't necessarily have the highest energy cost. So depending on how you have the character built, etc., etc., this can technically be permanently active, which is nuts, dude. Now, it gets even better, right? Should the wearer's break effect exceed or equal 150, one skill point will be recovered. Now, obviously, not every Harmony character is going to be able to utilize that to its fullest. Some characters are just not going to have 150 break effect, right? So that's not the important part, right? This next part is actually the important part here. At the start of each wave, all allies regenerate 10 energy immediately. Effects of the same type cannot stack. So at the start of every single wave, no matter what the content is, as long as it's the start of a new wave, all of your allies will regenerate 10 energy. This thing gives you a very powerful damage buff, and it gives you energy consistently. This is an incredibly powerful light cone. I highly suggest picking this up if you can. Even if you're not going to be getting Ruan Mei, I highly suggest picking up this cone if you can. I'm not telling you guys to wail. I'm not telling you guys to do anything that you're not comfortable with, okay? If you have the ability to pick up this cone, I would highly suggest going for it. It's an incredibly strong cone. And I mean, look, dude, Ruan Mei is super duper cute, and this light cone has 2 of her on there. This is two for the price of one. It's like twice. That's 2 times good, right? Right? Now, I know a lot of the time I don't tell you guys to necessarily pull for a lot of these rerun characters because some of them aren't necessarily worth your time and effort, because we do see power creep quicker in Honkai Star Rail than we do some other games. Because let's be honest, man, they release 2 5-star characters every single patch rather than just 1 like in Genshin Impact. So it's inevitable that more and more powerful characters come along more quickly. That doesn't necessarily mean that, but that has pretty much been the case for the most part. But Ruan Mei is incredibly strong, and she is incredibly strong to this day. She has not been power crept whatsoever, and she's going to be incredibly strong for the foreseeable future. I mean, think about it. We just had Sparkle in patch 2.0. That wasn't that long ago. And we just had Robin. Just had her. That's 2 very powerful Harmony characters. And right before 2.0, we had Ruan Mei. She's getting her rerun pretty darn quickly here, I will say so myself. So I have to say that I think she's going to be future-proof for at least a pretty good amount of time. I mean, for her to get power crept is going to be really, really hard, because you'd have to not only power creep her. Think about this, right? A lot of us run hyper carry teams. That usually means 2 support characters per team. In Memory of Chaos, you need 2 teams. That means at least 4 very powerful Harmony characters, right? And some of us run 0 sustain teams. That potentially could be 3 support characters per team. That means 6 Harmony characters, or not 6 Harmony characters, but 6 support characters, right? So to power creep Ruan Mei is going to be incredibly hard, considering that she's literally the best character in the entire game right now. You could sit there and make the argument that Robin, Ruan Mei, and Sparkle are all relatively even to some degree, but that's only 3 characters, right? To power creep her is going to be kind of hard. To make her irrelevant is going to be pretty difficult to do. So despite the fact that I usually tell you guys to save your Jade for future characters, to save your Jade for the currently available characters that are coming out soon, or even active right now, Ruan Mei is one of those characters that is potentially worth your time. Obviously, you have to do what's best for you and what you feel like is best on your account, obviously. There's a lot of nuance to like pulling strategy and things like that. And obviously, waifu and husbando over meta a lot of the time, right? But look at Ruan Mei, dude. She's a cute looking character, man, and she's meta as fuck, okay? And to further that point, when you look at the currently available characters coming out in patch 2.3, you're not going to be getting a support character there. And when you look at what's coming in patch 2.4, because we just had the drip marketing, we saw Yun Li coming, and we also saw, I can't say his name right, is it Jiachu, Jiakao, the pink-haired Foxian dude that's coming out soon? That dude does not necessarily look like a support character to me as well. Now, sure, we don't know 100% for sure, but he's the Nihility character, and it said in his bio that he's a healer. He's probably not going to be a support directly, maybe a sub-DPS, maybe just a straight-up healer. It's a bit tough to say, but I don't think we're going to get a traditional support character for at least 2 patches. So, is Ruan Mei worth pulling for in 2024 or not? Well, if you couldn't tell already by now, it's obvious, I think. Yes, she is worth pulling for in 2024, and so is her light cone. I don't always talk about the light cones in these rerun banner character like videos. However, this is one of those situations where it is definitely worth picking up her and her light cone. So even if you already have her, even if you don't want to pick her up, that light cone is really, really good, dude. Okay, it's like so good, bro. I'm telling you, bro, it's so good. Oh my god. Now, I think I should go without saying that I'm not telling you guys to spend, okay? I'm not telling you guys to like do anything you're not comfortable with, okay? I'm just sort of describing the power of this character, the value of this character, and to this day, it is still very, very high for her. A lot of these rerun banners are not necessarily worth your time depending on your situation, but this is one of those situations where not only she is really, really valuable, but her light cone is very valuable too. Anyways, I've been yapping for a long time now. If you like Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact, Wuthering Waves, or gacha gaming in general, consider leaving a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.